Hey everybody, happy Monday, feliz lunes, feliz segunda-feira. All right, what's the big news for today? Well, I guess maybe pode nevar nesta semana, might snow this week. We'll see. The weather's the weather, sometimes fit to change at the last moment. But snow I don't like because I usually am involved in moving it, but thankfully I've got good health so I can go move it, and I usually just use those shovels that are right there in the back corner. I do have a snow thrower, but man, moving a snow thrower around is almost more of a hassle than just using the shovels. So I got that to look forward to, potentially. Now, on to the good stuff, which is did my deadlifts today, my deficit deadlifts. Again, roughly 2-inch deficit on those. With the trap bar, small increment today on the working sets, worked up to 300. So 150, 200, 240, then 300, 5 sets of 5 at 300. Everything went pretty well. I'm happy with how things are going. That range of motion increase seems to be working out pretty nicely. I'm getting a little bit of extra stimulus in my right glute. It's telling me that it's time to, get to work again. Good stuff overall. So that's that on today's workout. Being Cyber Monday, following Black Friday, I did wander around the internet a bit. So combining Cyber Monday with the serendipitous video from me yesterday of trying out Zercher squats, and then poking around with an idea I've had in the back of my head for a long time that I'd like to have a deadlift jack just to make things easier for loading and unloading the barbell. I decided to look around on the internet for some open trap bars. So looking around, looked at some review videos. Looks like the Rep Fitness one looks to be a pretty good buy. Pretty good reviews. Looked at a couple videos on that. Price is pretty good. There's a little bit of a discount. All that kind of stuff. So it does a lot of things for me. Again, it's a trap bar like the one I have now, which one, if I do buy it, I will get rid of the one I have. I'm not going to be multiple pieces of equipment, the same thing. I mean, I do have multiple barbells. Yes. Those don't take up a lot of weight once they're in a rack. Something like that trap bar, it's going to have to go because I would like to have, I don't want to have a collection of things for no reason. So I will swap those things out. I'm not going to lose any space. That's good. I gain a deadlift jack bonus. I gain better knurling, it looks like, and handle diameter that's close to the conventional barbell diameter. That's also good. That should be a better bar hand interface. Smaller grip diameter usually means you can put a little bit more meat into the grip, and it's got a little bit better knurling. It's got to have better knurling than the bar I have now. It has very mediocre knurling, but usually better bar hand interface means more strength in the pull or push. It's an open trap bar, so you can do lunges and things like that. And then going back to the serendipitous thing I mentioned about the Zercher squats, I also did the measurements of the setup I have here when I was doing the Zercher squats, where I had the safeties at so I could clear the bar, and then I measured that against the Rep Fitness version of the open trap bar, and it's roughly the same height, meaning that if it's flipped up on its edge, on that loading edge for the deadlift jack function, you can also kind of hook your arms underneath that top bar and use it to do Zercher squats as well, kind of like Zercher pin squats, if you will, because you're going to go down to the floor, and the floor is going to relieve the weight, and then you're going to come back up with it. So we'll see how that works, as opposed to what I was doing in the rack where I was under tension the entire time. Nonetheless, it looks to be an interesting option. It looks to be a pretty versatile tool, which is what you should look for when you buy gym equipment, especially if you got a garage gym and you're not one of those guys online that's got like a garage gym, but then they got like warehouses full of all this kind of stuff and 23 different power racks. And I got one power rack, handful of barbells, some kettlebells, few, several hundred pounds of plates, and that's about it, and bands. And I get most of what I need to get done. But in the case of the trap bar, which I've enjoyed using the trap bar I have now, I got it from Right Fitness years ago when they switched over the Armed Forces fitness test, and everyone was making these things. And I guess they had some surplus, and they put them on a nice sale for, guess what, Black Friday. Picked it up relatively cheap then. It's got thousands of reps on it, so I can't complain too much. It has been put to work. But there's better stuff out there, especially now. Lyco came out with that open trap bar, and then a bunch of people copied it. And some of those copies are pretty good. So it might be time for me to jump in. I am very much a type B person when it comes to some of these purchases, so I got to weigh all the pros and cons. And you kind of already heard me go through kind of the list of all the things I'd be getting out of it. It's not going to create more space in the gym. It's going to be about the same amount of space. It's got that jack functionality. It's a little more versatile, so it's a little bit more money, but all those things kind of wash. So it looks to be, pretty much, if I'm going by marginal utility and all those other economic terms, it looks to be a pretty good bang for the buck, if you will, in terms of money spent. All right, so rambled on long enough. Had a good workout today. I might buy a new piece of equipment that allows me to do a couple of extra things out here in the gym. We'll see how that goes. It's not set in stone. I might even surprise myself. Who knows? But again, it's Monday, segunda-feira, lunes, and I hope everyone's got a good week ahead, especially as we head into the holiday season here. Pretty much every culture's got something going on centered around the solstice and the new year. Getting cold up here in North America, getting hot down in South America and below the equator. Getting into the seasons where it's either miserable to be outside because it's too hot or too cold, whatever. Nonetheless, hope everyone has a great week ahead. Hope you get into the gym, hit those goals, and get swole. Peace.